So, man, first I need to start off with like a moment of transparency, because if somebody watching this on YouTube, they gonna see like water stains on my hoodie. So I just took Sane out, to go to the bathroom after he ate. So that's the reason. That's the reason why I got these water stains, on my hoodie.
Don't waste no time.
Hey, man. So first off, I want to, tell you sincerely that I appreciate you sitting down, man. I know you're a pretty elusive guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Would Jay say if it wasn't for these cameras, you wouldn't see me at all?
Yeah, for sure. I remember telling you like, hey, man, like, you gotta get a social media. Like, we gotta get active.
Yeah. Facebook I was on it, then I was off of it. I stayed away from it for a little while. But when you trying to run a business, you're trying to start a business, like, we live in a world now where if you're not on social media, you ain't really trying to run a business. Yeah, that's what business is done right now. So
and we from that,
get on there.
And we from that generation where you really not putting your pictures and stuff, out there.
Yeah, nah. I try not to put as many pictures, especially family pictures. I mean, I probably will get back to a point where that's more of what I'm doing, but right now I'm still in that mindset of head down and reach that next level. So it's pizza. You know what I'm saying? And eventually it'll come along to where it's more stuff, more content going out there.
Yeah, man. I remember like when I was like, oh man, like I'm doing podcasts, I'm doing stuff. I gotta post things. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta learn things. I gotta learn TikTok. I was just talking to a friend of mine because he planned on doing content. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you're gonna have to do TikTok, Instagram. He was like, man, I don't do none of that stuff.
TikTok and Reels is the things that I'm starting to slowly get into now. But I want to get more into it, especially with the whole pizza thing. Like, and especially just looking at cooking and things like that. You see how people separate and chop up their videos to put their content out there, show people how they create whatever it is they create, whether it's candles or, podcasts or pizza, whatever it is, So you definitely got to get into that space, you know what I'm saying? And the video shorts or the long videos is really pushing people over the edge as far as drawing in, more viewers and things like that.
Yeah, man. Vertical video, like 3 seconds long, 4 seconds long. That's what's happening right now.
Yeah.
But so where does this whole story start? So we know we're gonna end somewhere at pizza, right?
Oh yeah.
We know we end somewhere at pizza. But even before we start, I do, like I said, man, thanks for coming down, sitting down with me, man.
Of course.
As an intro, this is like something. This is like shit we do at any time. Like,
man. This is installment 1, so you're gonna get different pieces from. I'll probably touch on childhood. I'll probably touch on middle age and, of course, veteran, military, you know what I'm saying, U.S. Navy, retired, and all of that. So, yeah, man, we going to bust it down and get into it.
Yeah, man, this ain't just an interview. This just really chopping it up, right? Shooting the shit, right? So, but let's start. Like, I want to start somewhere that I don't know, period. Like, and I don't think I know why you joined the Navy. I don't think you ever talked to me about that.
Yeah, nah. So, I joined the Navy in 2005. March 28th, 2005 is when I joined. And I guess like most young black men or most young, I won't say inner city because I'm from PG County, Clinton, Maryland to be exact. But I just didn't have a lot of what I felt like opportunities. I didn't do the best in school as far as grades and everything. I had a couple offers to go to school. I was accepted to Norfolk State, but when none of that stuff pounded out financially wise, I was like, man, started working HVAC. I was like, man, this is not going to get me to where I want to go. I want something more steady. I want something more, stable, career oriented. So let me look into the military. My sister had left to go to the Army a year, 2 years before I even thought or was considering joining the Navy. So yeah, that's how it started. Like I said, working HVAC, I was like, I want to be an engineer. I want to do something working with my hands. At least that's what I thought I wanted to do.
Yeah,
that's
right.
what I wanted to do, at the time.
How old was you?
Man, I joined at 18. Yeah.
You was already working HVAC before?
Yeah, I was working HVAC before then. I wasn't certified with handling refrigerator and anything. I was pretty much working in the warehouse, nailing and hammering duct together, working on some furnace, installing like motherboards and electrical components inside furnaces and things like that. So, that was something that I really was interested in at that time. So that gave me enough interest to, when I decided to join the Navy, it was like, if I'm going to join, if I'm going to go for a career, I'm gonna go as an engineer. That's what I want to do.
Yeah,
engineering is something that I feel like. And I had a small idea of, I wanted to go to college. Like I feel like I always wanted more schooling, even though I didn't do well or didn't. I ain't gonna say I didn't do well, but I didn't do what I was supposed to
in high school.
In high school,
evil, man.
You know what I'm saying? So
I hated it.
But I always wanted to learn. Like I learned outside of school. So
yeah, I mean, really, you realize we went to high school when Bow Wow was hot, bro.
Yeah. Man, Bow Wow. I went
That's
to high school
demotivated,
doing the DC Sniper, doing 9/11. So yeah, man, high school. It was fun.
Yo, so because Bow Wow was like our age, living. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
living a good
that's
life.
the generation.
And it's crazy. You look at that, and you don't really think like at that time, like, man, what can I do to, be like that or get money or do whatever. You know what I'm saying? You just having fun wherever you are in your little, circle. So
I used to hate Bow Wow, bro. I was making music too. So I used to be like, damn, Bow Wow again.
He on.
Mr. 106 in Park, Bow Wow. I used to be in math class, not doing my work, hating Bow Wow.
Hey, man, it be like that, but that's something that push you towards, you know what I'm saying? How do I get there? How do I get there?
So after high school, it's like, all right, I'm done with school. Mm-hmm. I would go to another school, but I'm about to get on this grind, get this money.
Yeah. It was, so really, all right, I'm a story that I know my mother probably gonna hate that I'm telling it, but youngest of 4 kids, like I said, didn't really do what I was supposed to do in high school, grades wise. Stayed out of trouble for the most part, graduated. And I got accepted to Norfolk State. I got uncle that lived in it. He was in the Air Force, so he lived in Hampton Roads down in that area. So I'm like, man, this is the only school that I applied for. I got accepted. I'm trying to go here.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, we don't got no money. It's like, all right, understandable. You got to find your way. You got to do this. You got to do that. It's like, all right, I don't know how to do all of that. So I was like, let me look at the next thing. I'm going to think about JUCO. There's a real good football JUCO school out there in Kansas. I got aunts and uncles that live out there. Man, maybe I can go out there. Still young, not really putting the effort into it to figure that path out. I was like, forget it. I'm going to just go get me a good job. My brother was working at this place, HVAC, heating and air conditioning. I was like, man, they making $9. $10. It might have been like $10 an hour. You know what I'm saying? Back then, minimum wage was what, $5.15?
Yeah, like
$5.45, something like that. So I'm like, man, if I'm gonna get double with minimum wages, this will come up.
Yeah. So this was right after high school.
This is right after high school.
It wasn't during high school. It was right after.
During high school, I worked at Pizza Hut. I worked at Chi-Chi's. So my very first jobs were in the restaurant industry. Working at Chi-Chi's, working at Pizza Hut. I worked at K-Mart for a little bit. Got fired from there.
I got fired from K-Mart too.
You know what I'm saying? So
I took the walk of shame, man.
Yeah.
I had to pass everybody on the register.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. But you know what I'm saying? Everything you learn something. You learn something from it.
Yeah.
If I'd have stayed there, maybe I got stuck at Kmart. But
I never got fired again.
Yeah, no.
Kmart was the only time I ever got fired.
Yeah, nah. I've never. Yeah, that was the first and last. I couldn't.
And I deserved it.
I didn't work behind the register. But being a young 15, 16-year-old, I went back there messing around or whatever. I ain't steal no money, and they caught it on camera. Yeah. And they looked up the camera and said, nah, you ain't steal nothing, but you weren't supposed to be behind there. So
that's how I'm going to tell you how they got me. So, I mean, the first story, I don't know if I ever told you this.
Nah.
But the first thing happened was I was messing up a lot, right? Mm-hmm. But one time I took a traveler's check, right? And I ain't know I couldn't take the traveler's check. And it was like for $100, right? Okay. So the next day, now mind you, I don't even know it was me or I took it or nothing like that, right? But the next day they having everybody together talking about what happened yesterday, and they like, hey, yeah, no, yesterday somebody took a traveler's check, they wasn't supposed to take it, and I'm looking around because I'm trying to find the dumbass. I'm like, yo, who the dumbass that took this traveler's check? Where they at? You know what I mean? Yeah. And nobody saying nothing, right? So the right after is and shout out to Rhonda. She lived on my block and she got me the job. She was like a manager. She's like, hey, we gonna take you off the register. after the meeting, right? And I still ain't connected dots yet. I'm like, for real? She's like, yeah, you're gonna go do stock. You're gonna be on the floor, this area, whatever. I'm like, okay, cool, And then I'm like, but why? She was like, you the one that took the traveling check. I'm like, oh, I'm the dumbass. Huh? So after that, when I got on the floor, I started to learn about these things, and it was these things called 702s. I don't know if you're familiar with 702s.
I've heard of them, but I'm not really that familiar.
All right, so 702s is like, let's say you get like a bite size, let's say you get a pack of bite size Snickers, right? So a 702 is like, it was open, right? Anything open, damage, anything, right? So anything, a toy, anything could be that. But the packs of the bite size Snickers and stuff, if the pack is open, it's a 702. It gotta go down to stock. So I'm like, it's going in the trash. I'm gonna take some bite size Snickers out. So one day, my girl at the time came to visit, and my boy was there. He worked there. He was on the register. She came. He told me, she came. He told me. I came up to talk to her. And I sat on his register in front of customers,
right,
talking to my girl, like macking or whatever I thought I was doing at that time, right? So I got fired, and I'm thinking I got fired for that, right? So, I'm like, so the dude like, the dude like, yo, we don't really need you to come back tomorrow or whatever.
Oh,
that's how he did it.
A polite fire.
And I'm like, what the? And this is my first fire, so I don't know. I'm like, what you mean by that? He's like, yeah, we kind of just don't need you back. Period. You know what I mean? I'm like, why? I was like, because of the register thing? He was like, no, we kind of we took some like video. We kind of walk your steps back. He was like, you were down in a stock room riding on like a mini golf cart eating 702s. I was like, yeah,
that was me.
It's time for me to slide. So then I took the little walker.
That's a good way to get fired.
Yeah. Man. Oh yeah. And I left like, I always think of this dude. Remember Prince Akeem when he came into the city on the line? That's how I left. I'm like, yo, yeah. And the first time you get fired, you swear you're going to get your job back. I'm like, I'll be back in here in like 2 weeks, y'all.
It's crazy because I don't really think I felt that way, that I was going to get my job back. But I think at that time, so a lot of my first jobs always came from knowing somebody. I take that back. Chi-Chi's is the only one I think I actually went in, filled out the application, did everything on my own. K-Mart, my brother worked there, my cousin had worked there. Pizza Hut, my cousin had worked there. So it was always, an in getting in. So K-Mart, they probably could have, because like I said, I had family there, but I didn't really think they was going to hire me back. But at the same time, I wasn't looking to go back there because I was stocking shelves. I was doing, all that stuff. I ain't feel like unloading pallets and moving pallets and
it's a lot.
Doing all that stuff.
It's a lot.
So getting into pizza, my cousin, I got hired inside for Pizza Hut, and I was making pizza. So I was actually double dipping, but they were short delivery drivers. So I was able to get paid the salary wage for working in the store, but then I was also able to make tips as a delivery driver. So I was kind of double dipping because really delivery drivers, they get paid delivery driver wages. That's not the same as minimum wage and everything because they're supposed to make most of their money off of their tips or whatever. So
but you was getting that money and that money too. Okay.
Hey, that, and then not only that, Chi-Chi's. I want to say I was working at Chi-Chi's and K-Mart at the same time. And then I stopped working at Chi-Chi's like they had, I think I just left and started working at another job. But then they was closing down, or they let me, no, actually I did get let go from Chi-Chi's. Okay. Because Chi-Chi's was closing down.
Yeah.
It's like they don't exist anymore.
Yeah, it's like almost, it's like Applebee's or something. It's kind of like a Ruby Tuesday type. Chi-Chi's was like a
more like Tex, kind of more like Tex-Mex.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a Mexican type joint. But so they had let me go because they didn't need as many employees anymore. And I guess like right before they closed, they needed people to come back, and it was probably just to assist with closing down the restaurant. But it gave me, a few more hours. So I was working at Chi-Chi's and working at K-Mart, got fired from K-Mart. Then I was working at Chi-Chi's and working at Pizza Hut. So I was working 2 jobs at the same time when I was in high school.
Graduate high school.
Yeah.
Now you doing the AC and HVAC.
The HVAC, AC and
and then you join the Navy.
So literally, I graduated in May and was working HVAC from May to about March. Because I gave them 2 weeks. I gave the HVAC company I was working for, I gave them 2 weeks. So from the end of May, once I graduated,
damn near a year.
No, not a year.
You said May to March.
Yeah, May to March. Well, you could say almost a year.
Okay, yeah. So,
yeah. And then, in between that time, it was really like trying to figure out what's next. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really feel or see the career path in HVAC. I didn't know how lucrative of a career path it could have been had I went to school, got my certifications and everything like that. But also, again, it requires me to go to school. So also I got to come up with money again. Mm-hmm. At this time, I don't want to spend my money to educate myself. I want to spend my money on clothes, on shoes, on going out, on things like that.
We always, like we do.
So it was like, all right, well, you're not going to spend your money on going to school. You want to go to school. You want to get more knowledge, education, or whatever. Look into the military. You know what I'm saying? You know its benefits. You know it's a career, path or whatever. So I was like, all right, I'll look into the Navy. I knew I wasn't going to the Army. I knew I wasn't going to be going to the Marines.
So it wasn't no movie that did it for you, like Top Gun.
It wasn't a movie. It wasn't patriotism. It wasn't, it was necessity. Yeah, it was necessity. Opportunity and necessity. Like I need something to do. This is gonna be the next move. Okay, you know what I'm saying, went in with a mindset of college and a steady paycheck, and a steady paycheck that's higher than anything that I'm getting right now or that I'm qualified for right now as a civilian. So looking at those two options, it was like, yeah, no brainer, let's do this. So
and what year is this?
05. All right, so I graduated 04 and March
you joined in 05. Did you go delayed or you did delayed entry?
I did a small delayed entry program. My delayed entry program was probably a month maybe. Yeah. Any longer than that, I wouldn't have went.
Did you make rank there?
In my delayed entry program? I think I might have got bumped up to E2. Because I think you were supposed to do like PFA, and then you had to do like know your general
memorize the sales creed,
sales creed, something like So I think I got bumped up to maybe E2.
You remember your first general order?
No. I don't remember none of them joints. Like, I'm not even gonna lie.
It's like the walk my post in a military manner.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna stop. I know it, guys. But, I'm gonna stop right there. Just to get y'all some, time to, get y'all's down.
I'm gonna be honest, man. After that second year in, them journal orders,
realized them orders
them orders went out the window, man.
Like you literally never. It's not like when you watched out the CCS, you like, all right, I need to walk my post in the military matter.
And it's crazy because even for a little bit, and I want to say it might have been Senior Carazulo, that we had gotten in trouble or something happened, and I felt like it was on there where he used to make us come in there and say it. Matter of fact, no, it wasn't on there. It was when I was on the Ashland. I was on the USS Ashland and coming down to watch. If you had the mid-rash, you got to bring your logs down, end of the day, get the EIL sign, do all of that stuff. Yeah, when you used to come in there, they used to put you on the spot and try to make you say your general orders, you know what I'm saying, to see. And they wouldn't tell you to say them in order. They just throw a number at you and see if you knew the drink.
Well, it was one we had to remember to ring the bell during times of alarm or whatever. We had to remember that on a Villa Golf because something happened and somebody forgot to do something or something like that. I'm gonna
tell you right now, I know I did not. Even if it was one of them drinks where it was like, everybody got to say it to go on Liberty or whatever.
Yeah, you probably.
I had some work to do that day. And I'm gonna be honest, man. That was one of my best things to getting out of doing
work,
stuff.
right?
It's being good at my job. Like being so good at my job got me out of a lot of things in the Navy. Mess cranking. For those who don't know, where you gotta in your first 6 months or first year on the ship, you're supposed to go your very first ship, your first like 6 months to a year, you're supposed to go what they call mess cranking. That's where everybody's supposed to go work in the galley and help out serving food and doing all that stuff. Or you work on the mess decks where you clean up and do all, or you work in the what's the joint called?
Like the
With
laundry?
nah,
The trash room? Like
you had the trash
PWP?
room, you had the laundry, you had what was the other one?
Jack of the Dust?
Yeah, that's the where they do the dishes at.
Oh, that's the scullery.
The scullery. So
Yeah.
you had the scullery. So for me being an engineer, we worked on a lot of the equipment.
Yep.
And all those things we just named. The trash room, we had the trash compactor. In the scullery, we had the dragon. You know, in the galley, we had the steam kettles. We had all this different equipment. So for me, it was like, yo, I'm going to learn how to do my job so I don't have to do stuff that I don't want to do. Because that's one of the things I didn't join the military for. Like when I got to the Saipan, the USS Saipan, they used to make us clean. They had this thing called cleaning stations. And I was like, yo,
they still got that. They still got this thing called cleaning stations.
But I ain't joined the military to clean, yo. I didn't. So I was like, nah, like this not what I'm trying to do. So just so happened, I can't remember. It was an MM2, but EM2 Acuna, I'll never forget him, electrician, of course. He pulled me under his wing. He had some stuff to go do on the elevator. He needed an engineman. So I was like, yo, you gonna show me how to operate the elevator? All right, cool. I'm not going to clean the stations. Like, I'm about to learn how to do this job.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm working a little some work.
Yo, learn how to do the elevators and doing all of that. You know, it came to a point where it was like, all right, we need this dude to run. I was running ballast operations as a E3, E4. Actually, no, as an E3. I was running elevator ops as an E3. Like to the point where I was on leave one day, and I got that text, that call that nobody wants to get. And there's something that I think about, that I transition, or I'm using to transition into my business. Like, I don't want to be the senior person with the secret, or the person who knows how to do just this. Because they called me while I was on leave. It was like, yo, we need to operate the elevator. We don't have no elevator operators here. I'm an E3, mind you. And they like, yeah, you're going to have to come back off leave if we can't find somebody to operate that.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo.
But now that's vital. You know, for anybody listening that don't know, that's vital. Elevator, RAST, those kind of things, they like vital things. Right? So you like, it's a very likely chance that you will get called in from leave to fix one of those things.
To fix it, to operate it, depending on, and I think that's what it was. We was in stand down, getting ready to go on deployment. So it's work going on because you got half of the ship there working, getting ready for deployment, and then you got the other half on leave. I just happened to be on leave on that first half, but they had ammo or something that needed to be operated, loaded on food, whatever it was. And whoever was there didn't know what to do, how to do, or whatever. So, and the crazy thing, what I really feel kind of bad about was like, yo, I was in Maryland and I'm stationed in Norfolk. In my head, I'm like, man, damn, what if I was stationed? I mean, what if I lived in California or something? Like, y'all really expect me to get on a plane or whatever? But again, the only thing that I kept in my head, train your people. Train your people, train your people.
Yeah. It's always bad when somebody get exposed too. You know what I'm saying? Like where like the command might think they know something, and then like it's time for them to do it.
Yeah.
It's
and they
like,
realize,
yo.
they don't know what to do.
Like, yo, we need to call. You know, sometimes they be trying to call you like on a low. They might try to call you like, hey man, I'm doing this. But if they can't reach you, then you know what I'm saying?
And they couldn't. Whoever it was, and I can't recall all of that, but yeah, it was one of them situations where it was like, yo, this how and that was another thing that opened my eyes.
Was they higher ranked than you?
That was on duty.
Whoever it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said that was another thing that opened your eyes?
To just the operation of the military.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can have this knowledge and you can have this skill set, you can have this work ethic, but then your pay grade is this. So your skills and your abilities didn't always equal your pay. So I always kept that in my mind.
Yeah.
When it came to studying for exams, you know, taking on jobs that other people didn't want to do and making rank. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'm doing all of this stuff. Like I got awards that say operating a ballast as a E3. This is a job of a E5. So I'm doing 2 pay grades above what I was doing. Same thing when I went up for Junior Sailor of the Year as an E5. My write-up was he operates, as a senior chief petty officer, not a senior chief, but a senior as in somebody who's been a chief for a while or whatever. So that was one of the things that was like, man, I got to make rank, because if y'all trust me with all of this, you know what I'm saying? You got processes of caps and, different things that can get you to those ranks. But I wanted to earn it. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to study. I wanted to earn it.
I remember being a fireman, and it was a chief on there, Chief Mackey. He was a 3MC on a Villa Golf. And he was like, he already a first class. He just waiting on the chevrons.
Yeah.
And that like, people don't know how much that like will empower you as a junior who you kind of doing good work, but to be empowered. And a lot of that happened, on a Villa Golf. I got 2 questions to ask you though, because I don't want to get too far away from this. So pizza, right? When you were working at Pizza Hut, right? It was Pizza Hut, right?
Yep.
Did you fall in love with pizza there?
Nah.
So you didn't?
No.
So you ain't fall in love with pizza yet at Pizza Hut?
No.
Okay. In the Navy, did you ever fall in love with it?
With pizza or with cooking or
with the Navy?
The Navy?
Yeah.
No. Nah.
Okay. So you never really fell in love with the Navy?
No. Nah.
But it was always enhanced career, learn, do what I got to do, like be the best, work as hard as I can.
It was a building block. It was a building block. And a hell of a building block it was. A catapult, I'll say. Like,
can I give something that really drew me to you as a leader in the Navy that's transparent? Yeah. It's not too bad. So I saw you cry before in the Navy, like, and this was early in like knowing you. So the way how we met, it was through G, right? Through Garner. I think I was on leave when you first got to the ship, right? And and it was like, when you go in and you're doing this stuff, it's like it's like this new dude that everybody knows. Like, oh man, this dude, Wes, man. I'm like, who the hell is this amazing dude that y'all all know? That everybody talk about this dude Wes. Where he at? You know what I mean?
Let me see.
But the division had a bad rep. The division had a really bad rep, and I love those guys, right? Some of those guys, I got love for, but they seem like they kind of fell into it. Like, all right, we got a bad rep.
Yeah.
I remember seeing you cry, and it wasn't tears like of like sadness. It was just frustration, bro. But I seen you cry like, yo, this division needs to be taken serious. We them guys, we this, we that. And then from then on, that division was taken serious. Can you talk to me about that moment?
I don't know if I know exactly what it was, but I do know that when I got to the Vela Golf, and mind you, the Vela Golf was my third ship, and third class of ship, being in the Navy. And I want to say it was my third ship in a 6-year time frame. So coming from all these other different class of ships, kind of building up to how I felt up in that moment. Again, on the Saipan, I was in what they call auxiliary division, and we was one of the best divisions in engineering. We decom the ship. I go to the USS Ashland. On there, I come in where I get to the ship. So this is funny how you say people always. So I get to the ship, and a first class tells me, "Hey, yeah, we heard about you. We heard you a dirtbag. This, whatever." And he was like, "But you got your ESWAS pin." As a fireman, I hadn't even made E4 yet. I had just made E4, probably waiting for the results to come in after I checked into my second ship. So I get there, and I pretty much hit the ground running. Take off, take over. I'm standing watches in the pit. I'm doing stuff in A gang. I'm helping EDIV do things and stuff like that. So I'm up there. Medical reasons, I think, again, surgery for my wrist, elbow. I had to get off the ship, went to shore duty for a little bit, and then I go to the Vela Golf. So I get here. Now, mind you, I'm not used to being in divisions where we the runts of engineering department or the ship. Not just engineering department, but the ship. So, getting there and seeing how people like ragged on A gang, and also knowing that A gang is one of the most vital departments in engineering, but also on the ship. Like, you want to be cold? You want water? Like, yeah, nah. So that was another thing that I ain't really like, that the people in that division, and when I say people, I mean the chiefs, the divos, and I don't know how much they hear, but I know that I made chief, so I know you hear when your division is garbage. So I didn't really appreciate that. So I took it to heart. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing that I've always said, and I think it started on the Ashland. I always told people I work for, you know, saying my name, the name right here, and this one says Pinkney, and then on your right side it says U.S. Navy.
U.S. Navy, yeah.
So I used to tell people, even my junior sailors, when I got in that position of leadership, I felt like people would work harder if they worked to represent who they were.
Yeah, bro. While you was talking, like, my whole thought process was like, yo, if my mom ever came to visit the ship and asked, how is our son doing? Right. And this adolescent thought process, but I'm like, if she ever was to come and ask, or my aunt who was in the Navy, who retired a lieutenant commander, or even my uncle who retired a master chief, like, if they was to come to the ship and be like, yo, how is he doing?
Yeah,
like I need
you to know, like,
I need the bells, I need the everything, like.
So that goes back to you know, where I think you recognizing and seeing that I put so much emphasis on our division being great, that when I left and went to the Naval Academy and ended up making first class, and you were still on the Veligolf, you said that they had, you know, mentioned my name on the ship.
Yeah, when you made rank.
I made rank. And I don't know if that's a common thing or uncommon thing. I can't say. I don't believe on any ship that I've been on, I know them calling somebody who I knew transferred's name if they made rank. So to me, that's like a very, like, impactful thing. Like, I felt like I left an impact on that ship.
Yeah, and then they went on to be a great, like, a really, really top, you know, tip top
division. But not only that, I honestly can say that I feel like I played a hand in a lot of those guys straightening out and making rank in the Navy, because I don't know if without me being there, a lot of them dudes would have, you know what I'm saying, been able to pull off what they was able to pull off in the
they kind of fell into,
I toot my own horn. I'm cool with that.
It's cool. I mean, they kind of fell into the psychological, like, we ain't shit.
Yeah.
Like, mind state. A lot of them, like, the people who, when you left, were leaders in that division, where when you got there, it was like, in that, right? And it ain't, I mean, like, it's not all, you know, we're not saying it's, like, some of that is, like, their own development, but, like, you need, like, something to kind of, you know, like that.
It's funny because in reading a lot of books, recently, you hear about, or you hear the question asked, are leaders born or are they made? And for me, it's a both situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it both could happen.
I feel, me personally, because of what I was able to accomplish, and I won't even just leave it in the military. Who I am, I think I can say I was born a leader. I know I've added characteristics that may have or may develop me into a better leader, which I think everybody should be able to do. But I also believe that you have people who see leadership, who see good or bad leadership, because you have both, and you learn. Hopefully, you learn from both of them, and they learn how to emulate and become great leaders. So yeah, to me, it works hand in hand.
All right, so let me ask you a question. So you were on a Ashland, a Saipan, and then a Veligolf?
I was on the Saipan, the
Ashland, then a Veligolf. All right, so Saipan, brand new sailor, new, already got a lot of leadership characteristics, and you displaying them, right? Ashland, same. Was the Veligolf the first time that it was your job to be a leader? Like, that was expected of you?
No.
Okay.
You say that the Saipan was. The Saipan was the first time that I was expected. Once I showed that I had that in me, that's when, from that point on, it was expected of me to maintain that level of leadership that I've already shown that I can. So again, one of my biggest things, that even I think out of all the awards, and I probably can even say out of making chief, I mean, chief was probably one of my most favorite goals and things that I did and achieve while I was in the Navy. But on the Saipan, we're underway. We need to get underway something, and we had a DBAC go down. That's a deballast air compressor for sinking the ship to have LCACs, LCUs, and all that stuff come onto the ship. And we had a MM2 that transferred. So we didn't have anybody who knew how to run and operate the ballast system. I'm not going to say we didn't have anybody because I knew how to do it. But I'm an E3. This is something that E6s, E5s, and definitely not a E3 with less than 5 years, less than 2 years, 3 years in the Navy that you want to entrust to do this. And like I said, getting that award that said, you operate at a E5 level as an E3, and one of the things that I had to do was I had to have an E5 that I had to put on watch. I had to create my watch bills for deballast operations as an E3. So again, once I showed them that I knew the system, that I could manage people, and I won't even say that I could manage people. When I showed them that I didn't care what rank a person was, that I could give them an order. Yeah. Then it was like, all right, yeah, no. Yeah.
And not everybody
you
can
do this. Yeah.
Not people I mean, can't even do that with people that's the same rank as them sometimes. Yeah,
as an E4. Just made E4 on the Ashland. I had 3 E6s that was in my shop. Our chief had just retired, and we was, I could say on the Ashland, that was the other time where it was like, the A gang ain't really all that, because they chief wasn't really all that. But I was like, nah, we good, we straight. Guys, we can do anything that any other department on the ship can do pertaining to their rate at the level in which they do it. So training was a big thing for me, making sure guys didn't just come in, stand watches, or go and do PMS. Like, we did training so you understood how to do SCED, how to do 3M reports. Gauge cow was another big thing, a big baby of mine when I was on the Ashland. Like, we made sure I got a Bravo Zulus from admirals for maintaining 90% gauge cow readiness and all these different things. So yeah, man, leadership was always, and to me, everything knowledge, school. So when you showed that you was a good leader, then schools came along with that, because they could trust that they could, one, send you to school. So my first major school, I went to Cummins, but to me my first major school was elevator school, and it was up in, I had to go back to Chicago, so your fleet returnee shirt would have been great. You know what I'm saying? Fleet returnees, man, for back then. But yeah, I felt like anytime you showed your leadership, or you showed your accountability, your responsibility, your attention to detail, that you was rewarded for it. And again, it always, to me, everything when I was in the military reverted back to money. Right. How can I get paid? I mean, I'm 18 to 19, 20 years old. Yeah, early on. It's like, how do I maximize my income?
And that's what I tell people when they make rank. Like, I say, hey, man, you getting more money, because in my opinion, you're going to be who you are, right? So if you're a leader, you're going to be a leader with the new rank. You was already a leader with the other rank, right? But you getting more money. If you trash, you're going to be trash no matter what. Regardless. You know what I'm saying? But you getting more money. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But so I got a question for you, though. So we talk about being good, performing, being a leader, standing out, and stuff like that. I think it's a curse to that sometimes. Mostly in any job, but especially in the Navy. I mean, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I kind of gave you a example of that already. Like I said, that very first. So again, this goes back to when you asked when did I feel like the very first ship that I was on is when I realized, one, that this game was easy. All right, to be honest, to realize that this game was easy. And when I say game, I don't mean that the military is a joke, but I mean that I feel like every organizational or way of life. There's a game or politics. People call it politics. People say you got to play the game. However you want to call it.
It's a way to play. It's a way to. It's how to play. It's directions. It's an MR. You could write an MRC for how to be successful.
Yes.
On a ship.
Yes,
you can. Right.
So, I don't know. What was it?
We talk about the curse. I'm gonna give you an example. I'm gonna give you an example. What I mean by that is, I was when we were at the academy, right? So anybody listening, we were on the Villa Golf together. He left early. We had some good time. We lived a whole life on the Villa Golf. And
we did.
I don't know if you was there for like a year. I don't know. I don't remember.
A little over maybe.
Yeah, a lot of violence.
Yeah.
On your part, I think, man. Tyrant, man.
I speak on that too.
But so we were on the Villa Golf together. He left. I followed him to Maryland. We wound up going to Maryland at Annapolis. And so this is a lot of the curse of like leadership and stuff like that. I feel like I witnessed in Maryland, right? Example, we had a sailor. So it was a moment in time where we were there. We had two different commanders, right? But at one moment in time, the LPO stopped going to captain's mast.
Yes.
Right? So the LPO, you remember that?
Yes.
So the LPO stopped going to captain's mast. Our commanders changed, right? So we had a case, and one of the sailors, he went through, and they went to mass, and my commander, old head from Chicago, he called me in his office, right? And this is also when I kind of knew, like, I'm really a leader here, right? Because I get like a direct face-to-face ass chewing from the director, right? But he called me out. He said, hey, like, why wasn't you at captain's mast? And he was fairly new, and he's like, and I'm like, yo, I didn't know that first classes could go. Right. Like, we were told not to go. And then he was like, all the times we do all these all hands calls and all these meetings, and you stand up and you say some shit. He was like, all those times you got a million questions. Every meeting, you got a million things you want to see change, a million ways to change it, but you got no question about LPOs being at captain's mast. He was like, come on, man. What the hell, man? Yeah. And that point on, I knew that, damn, okay, I'm in the game here. And I walked out of there, like, because people could hear him chew my ass, you know what I'm saying? But instead of like walking out of there like sad, I walked out of there like, damn, like, I'm somebody here. Like, I'm getting my ass chewed directly, by the director. And now we know we got clarity that first classes could be at this captain's mast where first classes should be, because of course I copped out, I'm like, sir, like, I thought that we wasn't supposed to go, so I just didn't go. I didn't ask any questions, and you normally ask questions. And that's what I mean. As like I got other examples of curses, but that's one of mine. It's like the expectation now is way higher. Yeah.
And I can other than the elevator, that was the earliest.
Yeah.
I probably will say the next moment was at the Naval Academy when me and you had to go into LT's office.
Oh yeah. And every week, every day.
So when she pulled us aside and was like, y'all want to be chiefs, y'all want to act like the chiefs, then I need updates.
Yeah.
But the good thing about that was it put a spotlight on you, but if you could handle it, she let you rock.
Yeah, and
she let you control your liberty. She let you control, your guys' liberties and what they was able to do, days off. You managed that. Yeah. But that came with the leadership. But also, like you said, somebody, I won't name them, an EN2, when they ain't do what they were supposed to do, she wasn't looking for them.
Yeah.
She wasn't looking for them. And a lot of times she wasn't looking for Senior K.
It's funny because I think the same EN2 is the EN2 that I got chewed out about the captain's mast.
Yes.
Same guy.
So yeah, man.
Nothing but love for this guy, but same guy.
Everybody, like, it's
especially her, Miss Davis, man. Love it.
Yeah.
But it was a rocky. I don't know about you, but for me, it was a rocky start. First she came in, my division was under investigation. I always talk about that on my other podcast. Like, my division was under investigation for tag out issues, which electricians should never be under investigation about. But that was damn near the whole command had a bad tag out thing. But it kind of illuminated with the EMs. But she came in. So she was already hard on me then. And then I think she saw I had kind of like an alpha personality. I was rebellious with certain things. She actually put me out at attention on the pair before, man.
She wouldn't have got away with that.
She put me at attention, man. Yeah, she put me at attention. She get at attention. It was crazy, man. I think that this was, I don't know, because I got fired as an LPO at some point in time. I don't know if you were still there for that, but I got fired. But I got my job back, but I got fired. But
so you did get fired again.
Well, yeah, yeah, but that was, to me, that was like a fake firing.
Yeah,
but I mean, it is what it. Look, I'm gonna tell y'all today. I thought that was a fake firing.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you right now. The moment I realized that I was gonna be different in how I operated in the Navy. Again, the Saipan did a lot for me. Mm-hmm. It made me realize, like, yo, if you learn your job, you don't got to deal with bullshit. If you learn your job, you can get out of bullshit. And I gave a story on that real quick. But also, I had a LT who was an LDO, and he was a prior senior chief, engineman. I was an engineman. I retired as an ENC. And I got my very first eval. So I didn't appreciate my ranking. Mm-hmm. My eval, I got an MP instead of an EP. I had my ESWAS pin. I did, like I told you, I was an E3 running ballast operations on an LHA. This is a big deck amphib. This ain't no small class, you know what I'm saying, ship. And they gave it to this other guy over me. Mm-hmm. And my EM2, who I said showed me how to work on elevators, the electrician, he was like, yo, don't sign that shit. You wasn't supposed, that's not what you were supposed to get. My MM1, my all of them are telling me like, nah, that's not what you were supposed to get. That's not what we voted for. So I found out that my chief, that he had just made chief, gave me a different eval, and I got a whole nother, that dude's a whole different show and different topic. Mm-hmm. But I was like, yo, I don't deserve this. This is not what I'm supposed to have, whatever. So I'm in there with my first class and I'm in there with the chief and this lieutenant going over my eval. I'm like, man, this bullshit. I'm supposed to have, an EP. I got these qualifications. I got this. I'm outcall this person in that. And I'm going off. Like, I'm screaming on him.
Yeah.
So he tried to put me at attention. Like, the door was closed. Nobody could see me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not getting that attention. Like, nah, I'm about to give you a piece of my mind. So he opened the door, get the fuck out. So I got out, slammed out, walked off. Like, yo, like right then and there, I was like, okay. Like, this like this what they want. Yeah. They don't really, not that they want somebody that's gonna be disrespectful and, all of that, but somebody who knows that, like, nah, like, y'all ain't give me a fair shake on this joint. I still got the MP, mind you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But you stood up. This back when they were still liable to put hands on you.
Yeah, yeah, 05.
This back when they were still liable to put hands on you.
This September. No. It had to have been, it must have been 06. It had to have been 06. Yeah. Whenever E4s get their, or E3s get their evals.
Well, when I first got to the Villa Golf in 07, it was khaki putting hands on people still.
Yeah. They thought about
you know what I'm saying? Again, hands was getting put on people, man. So it's like, yo, you're not only, there's a different time, because their performance, like, it's like, yo, you can't be too disrespectful. Like, this dude here might just put you in the fan room
so
and do some stuff to you.
Again, going back to the leadership thing, where it's like, when I knew, like, I was like really on the Ashland, we on deployment, I got a bottle of Hennessy, and then it wasn't no regular bottle of Hennessy, some exotic stuff from overseas or whatever. And, with 4th of July, we just happened to be underway. Of course, I had this bottle because we just pulled out of port. It's 4th of July. We underway for 4th of July.
And you ain't take it to the liquor lock?
Hell nah.
Okay.
And they plan on shooting off flares or, something.
Young sellers.
For
don't do
4th of July or whatever.
Make sure you take your liquor to the liquor locker, young sellers.
Yeah. Don't, I'm telling you, stories that I'm out. I'm retired, so I can tell stories of stuff that I did. But yeah, so we, having a little party in, A gang office,
Right.
And I'm pulling up, to To the point where
freely,
I called down the main 2. No, I called down the Ox 2. It was Ox 2. My bad. I called down the Ox 2, and I'm like, yo, I'm pulling up. Like, what's up?
Yeah.
So I go down in the engine room and pull them up some. So we playing spades. We doing all like. I had a good time, yo. I that's one of the things where you said that I ever fall in love with the Navy. I never fell in love with it because I never saw myself going into the military. I actually kind of despised the military growing up. But again, it was something that I needed to do. And you know what I'm saying? And it was also my grandfather was in the Navy during World War II. So I was like, it can't be that bad or whatever. I got, again, that chief that I told you I got stories about. You know what I'm saying? But so it was those parties, like I threw a lot of those on deployment on the ship.
Well, I mean, you was with me in the fan room. I had to rewire up a whole fan.
Yeah.
And use a EN, man. Yeah. I'm EM, and we, of course, G was with us. I think both of y'all was supposed to be on Liberty that day.
Oh no, we was. It wasn't supposed. We
y'all
went
came
on
back.
Liberty.
Yeah, y'all came back.
We
drunk.
came back.
Yeah.
After having a good day and night on Liberty.
And we had to do it late. Did I have to do it late because I was waiting on a part, or did I have to do it late because we wanted to wait till the fan room cooled down?
The fan room had
the engine room cooled down.
Yeah, we had to because it was the actual fan they had just reloaded a new fan. It was a new gas turbine fan, right?
It was.
They had to put a new one in, and you had to wire it up.
It was the space ventilation. It was the whole controller, burned up or something.
Yep. So I mean, and that was one of the best things about, you know what I'm saying, us, was that enginemen and electricians, like a lot of things, whether it was the ACs, whether it was the reefers, whether it was, anything that had a controller that operated our equipment, we needed, you know what I'm saying, y'all. So we was always hand in hand, you know what I'm saying, taking care of things, knocking things out.
I think for me, one of the things, I mean, I selfishly was a little upset when you got out. Because it was kind of like I had somebody that I could like look at, I was talking to somebody before and they was like, man, I don't really be competing. I'm here and I'm trying to work my hardest, and I'm like, even me and Damon, like we competitive people,
compete.
And I'm like, yo, I got love for everybody, but I need somebody to like look at. I need somebody to know, somebody to call, like, hey, what you doing? How'd you get this? What you did? Because I am a competitive person, and that doesn't change just because I'm in the military. A lot of people think like you can't be competitive because you're in the military. You got to be this like overly kind of like quietly humble person. Like I'm super competitive. I want to be the best. You know what I'm saying? I really do. I want my division to be the best. I want my ship, my command to whatever it is that I'm doing. I want to be the best. So it was good to have you around. And like, even when we wasn't at like the same commands, and I'll be hitting you up like, hey, what you got going on? What quals you got?
It's a lot of it got to do with, After a little while, I mean, of course, you always got your pay grade stuff that you got to worry about. I mean, not your rate stuff that you got to worry about. But then when you talk about making rank, you know what I'm saying? Making rank is something outside of just doing what I got to do in my pay grade. So it wasn't just you know what I'm saying? I mean, we was always like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you got EIL or you got ENAL or you got, whatever that next qual was. You in A game, but you about to go get qualified in main 2. I'm about to go get qualified in main 2. I'm about to go get qualified in Ox 1.
I remember you got ranked number 2, right?
Yeah.
Hey, that's how crazy it was, man, back then, man. But you got ranked number 2, man, and we care so much about this kind of stuff. But we just wanted to be the best, but you got ranked number 2, right? And I remember when you got ranked number 2, you was like, yo, you better be number 1. And I wasn't. I was number 6. But you was like, you better be number 1. Like, it's no way.
It's nobody else fucking with us.
Yeah, that was funny.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about 6 months on the ship, and I got ranked number 2, and I was still hot.
Yeah, well, this was at. I'm talking about Annapolis.
Yeah, you talking about Annapolis?
As first class.
I was number 5 on
the ship when you first got there.
I first got there, and I was still mad about that. And I only been there 6 months, and I was mad that I was number 5. And I still felt like in those 6-7 months or whatever, when that first eval came out that I had done more than.
Then yeah. I mean, my first eval as an E5, I was ranked kind of high. I think you left before me. I think I got a frocking eval.
That was my first one on there. My very first E5 eval, I was ranked number 1.
Yeah,
I was number 1 brand new E5 on the entire shit.
Yeah. I don't even want to talk about my
number 1
evals.
Man, we could talk about all. I mean, the people gotta know, man. They sit in the presence of greatness. You know what I'm saying? On and off, in and out of the Navy. Like,
oh man,
it is what it is.
All right, so Academy. So we talk Saipan a little bit. We talk Ashton a little bit. We talk Villa Golf. We got a million stories about Villa Golf. We probably got to do this thing in volumes.
Oh yeah. We definitely haven't scratched the surface yet.
No, not at all.
We ain't even got into details on things.
No, yeah, not at all. But another thing you did that like really kind of it really sealed the deal for me as far as friendship. This was still Villa Golf. It was random too, man. But like, I needed $500. Like, you just gave it to me, bro. And I'm like, damn, like this dude just gave me $500. It wasn't like a borrow. It wasn't. And if somebody listened to all my podcasts, they could piece together like why I was broke that deployment. You know what I mean? But I was broke. And if you listen to Permission to Speak Freely, you know why I was broke. That was I had got kind of tied up with the whole rent thing, and they overcharged me, and I wasn't getting no money at all. But you ain't even know the story. You ain't know nothing. You just knew I needed $500, and you just gave it to me, and that's a lot of money for E5 getting E4 pay still or something like that, right? So I was like, yo, this dude here is just a good dude, man. And I even remember just always having that on my mind, like no matter what, you know. So as we transitioned anywhere we did, like anything, whether it was you coming to the apartment or us going to G crib or whatever, if anything ever happened, because these are young days, like I got a roommate, you know, a roommate might be like, well, I never knew. I'm like, it don't matter. This Wes coming over. This my man. Boy. Like, there's no way. Let's keep this moving, right? All right, so but like I said, we could talk about Villa Golf forever, right? So you leave Villa Golf, you go to the academy, right? At some point, you have a son, right? You have Jay, right? Yep. And I say that because I'm his godfather, right? So that Jay's your second son. You came in the Navy with a kid.
Nah. I had my first son within the first year of being there.
Yeah. Were you married?
Yeah.
Okay, so you were married. So at some point you got divorced. So married young.
Yes.
At some point. That's probably a whole nother podcast.
Yeah, them two. Yeah.
yeah. So Jay, I'm his godfather. That was a great moment, you know, in my life. And I just say that to kind of put more coding on like just the connection between us. So you go to Annapolis and you don't get out from Annapolis. You go to LCS.
Yes.
Right. You go. So I just find it funny because you went to LCS, and the ship that you went on, they went under investigation, right? But I think like that was after you left, around the same time you were leaving. But you told me a little bit about it before you left. You told me a little bit about it before you left. But then like shit really started hitting the fan.
They was having some problems.
So it was like, and like most LCS got issues. Yeah. But you did LCS, and I found a way to
LCS
come there too. So I went to San Diego, and I wanted to go to San Diego.
Yeah.
So Annapolis wasn't even my doing. It was needs of the Navy, and
just happened
that was left. I remember talking to you. I'm like, all right, well, let's go.
Yeah.
But so LCS, you did LCS. You got out from LCS.
From LCS,
right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about that?
Yeah, man. That was it was bittersweet. Let's put it like that. I was happy because I was getting out. I was scared because I was getting out.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I knew I was getting control of my life back.
Yeah. Well, Well, before you go too far, right, I do want to kind of go back for 1 second. You made chief.
Yeah, I made chief at LCS.
Right? Soon as you got there?
As soon as I got there, yeah.
All right, so you made chief at LCS. So you made chief. So now you're a chief. You're a leader.
Mm-hmm.
Always been a leader, but now you're a chief. You're a khaki. So what was I remember I asked you, man, when I was a first class. I remember talking to you, And I was like, yo, what's the difference? I was like, what's the difference, man? I was like, what like, you was like, I was like, what's the difference between being the first class and the chief? And you told me.
I probably said nothing.
No, you was talking about that people like say hi, you know, but it felt like they they had to.
I do remember that. I remember that. Because it probably was a mixture of nothing really because of how we always operated and carried ourselves. So I don't think I really felt a major shift in like responsibility or you know what I'm saying, anything like that. But it was that, you know what I'm saying, oh, I got khakis on now. Like as a blue shirt, people will walk past you. Last time somebody spoke to you as a first class was when you was in boot last time you spoke to somebody when you was in boot camp as a recruit and you saw a first class or a second class and you had to say good morning, petty officer, good afternoon. That was the last time like somebody really acknowledged you. Once you make chief, it doesn't matter where you go. It don't matter what coast you on. If you got them anchors on or you got that khaki uniform on, they gonna speak.
Yeah.
Because of what they perceive your, you know what I'm saying, I want to say value, but what your position is.
You probably
they feel like you deserve more.
You probably wouldn't believe that that's changing a little bit.
I can believe it because a lot of things was changing from how junior sailors, you know what I'm saying, get to operate in it's society as a whole. But people don't realize that society outside of the military is the same inside of the military. People don't automatically stop being who they were or what they were when they joined the military. You know what I'm saying? We can go back and talk about gangs. You can talk about drugs. You can talk about all these things happen in the military. So yeah, that and sense of entitlement, I can believe it's creeping, you know what I'm saying, into the military as well.
So all right, so I don't, like I said, we're going to talk a million times, so I don't want to get too deep into it now, as far as your experience as a chief, your experience through the season and all that stuff. But I do want to get to just that process of getting out as a chief, because you got out, how many years did you have?
13.
So you had 13 years. You had 7 years left, right? Retirement. Yeah. And we talked about this. We talked all about this. We talked about, like, we would have conversations about when I thought I would have a kid, stuff like that. Did you think that did you know you wasn't going to do 20 when you hit 12 years or?
No.
Okay.
No. I can say after I made first class, I kind of made up my mind that this was probably going to be a career. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I made first class at 7 years. I made chief at like 10 and a half.
Yeah.
So at that point, it was like, man, there's no reason you're not going to make senior chief, master chief.
Yeah.
Like, we always used to joke and say, like, it's MECPON or bust. Like, we always got those goals to shoot for, you know what I'm saying, that highest rung. So after I made first and left shore duty, because initially on the Saipan, I was like, man, I might do shore duty. Everybody should do shore duty, and then I'll get out. But I made first class on shore duty. And I actually took the test for chief while at the Naval Academy. I missed that joint by 3 points, I think. So it was like, man, like, and Master Chief Sanchez pulled me to the side. Was like, yo, how the hell you gonna like make chief if you don't even? Yeah, I think I did miss board. I didn't make board. That's what it was. And I think when looking back, I missed board by like a few points. He was like, yo, you can't make chief if you don't get a ticket to the dance.
And that's when you was ranked number 2.
That's when I was ranked number 2.
I remember that. I remember you didn't make board. You was ranked number 2.
Yeah,
I remember
so he was just pissed about that. But after that, and after having talked the conversations and seeing how things was going, I thought I could make I thought I was going to do 20 years, whether I stayed enlisted or went officer. Because even at the Naval Academy, I put in a blue to gold or blue to green package, or tried to put in a blue to green package. I went and did my PFA and all that stuff with the Army, did their 2-mile run and have many push-ups and whatever their thing is, all of that. So at this point, I was like, man, if I'm gonna do this, like I'm again maximizing my dollar is what I'm trying to do. So I'm gonna either go officer or I'm gonna continue to make rank until I get to the highest rank possible. So 20 years was definitely on my mind.
Yeah. So what happened?
Man, life. You know what I'm saying? So dealing with being on the West Coast, dealing with LCS and their program, the way it was set up, it was supposed to be like 3 months on, or initially when they told me, I think it was supposed to be like 4, 4, and 4, or something like that.
4, 4, and 4. Yeah,
you were supposed to have like 4 months on ship, 4 months overseas in Singapore, or whatever, and then you're supposed to have 4 months off the ship. So that's what my mindset was. I had family and everything over there set up, and just the whole family dynamic, having to leave and do all of that stuff, it wasn't really, things weren't working out. So besides dealing with family, control, like I really felt like I needed to have control over my life. I felt like after being in for so long and seeing the management tools, seeing the organizational tools, seeing the leadership tools, like I really felt like I could maximize me outside of the Navy. I felt like I was a valuable asset to the Navy, not a valuable asset to myself. So in gaining that control back, I was like, I got to get out. You know what I'm saying? Dealt with, mental health issues, dealing with PTSD, trauma, and everything like that. So I was like, I can't do this no more. And I started at that point to, go ahead and transition out.
Yeah. So you said you're getting retirement though. You retired. You officially
I'm retired. I'm
right?
retired
At 13.
At 13 years. So I get medical, I get disability pay, and I get retirement pay. So yeah, retired.
Yeah. That's good stuff. I mean, you had a career that I always was like, dang, man, what if he stayed in?
Man, if I stayed in, like I'm telling you, my goal was, I think honestly, my next step was going to be to go warrant officer. I think that was going to be the next thing, because even as a young sailor, like you were saying, you always look for what you want to be or how you want to, see yourself. And just looking at warrant officers, knowing that they were chiefs, so you had to make chief, and now you're an officer, it's like you're the best of both worlds, and literally you were the best of both worlds. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So officers couldn't fuck with you, chiefs couldn't fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? So you really was, on an island called the Mustangs. You know what I'm saying? You really was on an island where, like, you was that dude. So
I'm about to ask you, would you learn that you could take from the Navy that's, apply it to like the rest of your life, right? That's what I'm about to ask you. But before that, I'm just thinking about like highs and lows, man. Because I was like, man, I should have asked you your best moment, worst moment. That would be cheesy to me to ask you your best moment, worst moment. But I feel like some of the greatest moments I probably was around for. Yeah. Some of the lowest moments I probably was around for. Like life was like really, it's like a music video. Think, bro.
Like we've been together for 10 years now.
Yeah.
We've been doing this joint for almost a decade. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, from all the different commands. So yeah, you've been there for a lot of the highest highs and a lot of the lowest lows.
I think it's over a decade now, bro.
Yeah.
It's over a decade, man. But like life on those deployments, man, they used to it's like some crazy stuff, man.
Man.
I was telling Angeline, I'm like, being young, because she was talking about like some friends she know, like a couple, and she was saying like the guy didn't really look like he wanted to be in a picture with with the girl, and they had just had a kid, and I'm like, yo, he probably don't even know what he has. You know what I'm saying? And it made me think of, and I'm like, he probably just being a guy. Yeah. Like, yo, I ain't being in a picture like that. But it made me think about like us, like being overseas. And like, dude, there was times that I did not know. Like, we were in Rome, bro. We went to like Turkey. We went places that like I see now on TV. Like, damn, I wish I could go there. I was there, but I was drunk. I was like crazy, like having a great time.
So, and bringing that up, like I think I just 2-3 weeks ago pulled out an old camera and I sent you some videos. You know what I'm saying, from when we was over in Turkey. And yeah, like you really, that's one thing that I will say that I appreciate that I will never take for granted is the relationships I built and the places I got to go.
Yeah.
Like going to Seychelles, Madagascar,
That's
Crete,
crazy.
going to Turkey.
I
You know what
forgot
I'm
about
saying?
Crete.
Exactly. Haifa,
Crete.
Israel. Like it's
Yeah.
so many places. Like you said, Rome, you know, and now like I'm kind of trying to retouch on it and trying to revisit it. Like I meant to ask you to find pictures and stuff if you have some. But looking up, I mean, just going back, looking at old pictures, also revisiting it with, you know, the concept of the pieces and everything that we're doing where, you know, we trying to touch on each region that, you know, we visited to kind of bring that to, you know, the people so they can get a small sample, small taste of, you know, what we got to enjoy while we was out there, you know what I'm saying, on them seas and saving the
Yeah,
world.
it's crazy. Crazy. I mean, ain't no liquor flavor pizza, is it?
Supposedly.
Ain't no absent flavor pizza,
Oh,
is it?
man. Yeah, you talk about putting hands on people. Like, yeah, man. I'm telling you, that's what I said. Like, I never was in love with the Navy, and I probably didn't fall in love with it because it was just like society. It was so much like
it's the
being,
same
you know what I'm
thing.
saying, a civilian. So, you know, you get in there, like, one instant, we on the mess decks. You know, I got my food sitting here. I'm getting ready to sit down and eat. Next thing I know, I come back, my tray gone.
Yeah, the dude thought he could just move your tray.
Yeah, like you thought you was about to just move my food. Like,
Yeah.
and again, young and, you know, ignorant and testosterone full. Like,
Yeah.
nah. So he had to get thrown to the ground. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. After
But,
getting choked up
yeah,
out of the seat.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember that stuff, man. That stuff
But,
was crazy.
you know, again, everybody, even though they put on the uniform, they still who they are.
Yeah.
So that's why I said, like, for me, like, I never went in on, you know, gung-ho, rah-rah, Navy, military, this. But I also knew, like, this could help me, you know, put me on a trajectory for, you know, bigger and better things, you know, later on down the line.
Yeah, and you never misrepresented it, right? And that's the one thing that I want to make clear. You never misrepresented the Navy. Like, you were a fine specimen of what the Navy has to offer.
So talking about me getting out, I had to actually go through an appeals process for my med board when I got out, and I'm in a room full of captains and commanders, lieutenant commanders, and this full bird captain that ain't never seen me or met me a day in my life, he read my my jacket, my whole you know career and everything that I've done, accomplished, awards, all of that stuff, and his words was like, "We really sorry that we gotta lose you. Like, you were one of the ones that if there's something we could do to keep you, like, we would probably do what we could to keep you." So, you know what I'm saying? Nah, never, even though I wasn't all in, or you know, however you want to classify it, I still did what I was supposed to do. And I still think I left a great legacy as far as the sailors that I worked with, you know what I'm saying, the commands that I was at, you know.
Yeah,
so,
personally, I
think I did right by them.
I know 3 of the sailors that was on the Villa Golf, they officers now. 3 of them.
Yeah.
I want to say one of, and then
Chiefs.
another one is chiefs. They all chiefs or officers. Like, all of them either chiefs or officers. Some of them were sailors of the year. Some of them was like ranked number 1. So a lot of success after you when we started out. Remember, before you, with people just feeling like they sucked. You know what I'm saying? But so my next question, you know, to move us away from the military stuff is, what was your something like your biggest takeaway from that whole experience that you feel like is going to benefit you on the civilian sector?
Oh man, the biggest takeaway that I can take from that, really, it would be, it's a lot. It's probably a lot of them, but I'm gonna start with organization and attention to detail. I think organizational structure and attention to detail is something that you can use in every aspect of your life, especially attention, you know, to detail, whether it's dealing with your kids, your job, or whatever. Just, you know what I'm saying, taking those small steps to pay a little bit more attention to things cuts out a lot of rework and having to do over, which is something that you really don't have a lot of opportunity and time. You know what I'm saying? Dealing in the military when you're on mission schedules and things like that.
We used to hate rework. I remember we always used to talk about rework. Like, yo, I hate rework.
Yeah, and especially if I had to go do it. You know what I'm saying? And that was one of the other things with my sailors, like that made them better. It was like, yo, we don't want Pinkney to have to come down here and tell us that we fucked this up.
Like, just get hands put on you, man.
Yeah, so, hey, man. But yeah. Organization, and like I said, attention to detail. Those will probably be the two biggest things. Because again, where I am now and trying to grow and build a business, I think those are going to be two things that's going to help me be successful in that.
All right, so let's transition into pizza, man. Let's talk pizza. Because I mean, I'm assuming at some point you fall in love with pizza. Yes, no?
Yes.
All right, so yes.
I'm gonna say I fell in love with cooking though.
Well, I was going because I wanted to kind of bring in that, right? So, so now we finally, so it's like I don't want. It'd be weird to call it like a great love story or whatever, but it's like an epic tale of like brotherhood or whatever, right? Yeah. So that's what I call it, right? Like an epic tale of brotherhood, where now we still communicating with each other, right? Always, so now I know you in the food, like somehow, like, yo, all right, I'm out, got the kids, everything is, where it should be mentally. Now I'm like doing things, the transition into what I'm planning to do next, right. After the military, I wanted to say funk, but after the military
transition,
stench is kind of worn off. Now it's like what I'm going to do with my life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Especially when the military, see, and that's a thing that we could have a whole episode about, is when we leave our condition to join the military or whatever, when we leave the military, we either go back to that condition or we need to, transition. Yeah. So now I got my family back, but I need to, do something, right? So it was food. It's some shit had to do with food, right? You hit me, hey, I'm doing this, I'm getting this, and it still felt like, so it was like I was still getting the same Pinkney that I felt like I was getting in the Navy. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, yo, I'm doing this now. Yo, I got this going on. I just got this. I got the serve safe. I got this. And somehow it went from like soul food. It went from a couple of things, and somehow we landed on pizza, right? So what brought you to, and you could go back over all that stuff I was telling you if you want, but what brought you to pizza?
So to kind of draw a line, getting out. So in my transition, dealing with mental health and, going to therapy and dealing with everything for that, they had cooking classes that you could take. Now, granted, I fell in love with cooking when I had a housewarming and people was coming over and I wanted to make some crab cakes. So I was like, yo, I don't know how to make crab cakes. I want to make some crab cakes. So I went and bought some crab meat, made these crab cakes. Everybody loved them. I was, I'm shocked. So that was my first experience with making something from scratch and seeing people's reaction from it. Yeah. And that in itself, and not only just that, but to know that still 2, 3, 4 years later, like there's still people like, yo, when you gonna make some of them crab cakes? So that was that first, real, okay, yeah, it might be something here with this, and I don't mind doing it. So transitioning out, like I said, dealing with mental health and doing stuff. They had classes that you can take, so I was doing that.
That was the Navy offered?
The Navy offered some classes for
cooking classes.
Yeah. It's one of those things, mindfulness. So it's kind of like a mindfulness thing where it's something for you to do to take your mind off of whatever it is that's causing your anxiety, your depression, or whatever. So I signed up for it. I had to take classes. And I didn't want to do stuff I don't want to do because I'm doing that right now, being in the military, at this point. So I was like, no, they got cooking classes. I'm going to take some cooking classes. So I did that. But also a while back when we was in Naval Academy, me and my wife at the time, we had went to Jay-Z and Beyonce concert. And then, of course, you know what I'm saying, coming home on the way back, I was like, yeah, man, we're going to power couple all this other stuff. I'm going to build a restaurant and all that. And that was like the first time I said, I'm going to build a restaurant. Now, mind you, this is after I made the crab cake. So, you know what I'm saying, I'm still kind of talking and, you know, working through long-term things or whatever. And then I come into the bump in the road with the military family and everything. I got to get out. I came home to Maryland. While I was here, I was actually still in transitioning out, because I got them to move me to be closer to my family due to, you know what I'm saying, the mental health issues that I was dealing with. And of course, that helped a lot. So from there, I went to PG Community College and started taking culinary arts classes. So once I realized like cooking was what I wanted to do, I was like, let me go get some classes on it. Went, got some classes, learned some basic things, was taking some classes. And while I was doing that, I don't know what I was on, and a place called Pizza University came up. So from there, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go up here. It's in Beltsville. It's like, it's right up the road. I ain't got to go nowhere far or anything like that. A little 3-day class. Let me take this. It's supposed to teach you about, you know what I'm saying, something called Smart Start, I believe, would give you some basic understanding of the business industry, pizza industry. But then from there, I really, what tied everything together was, I was like, man, you know what? I remember the first thing that I ever actually cooked, like the very first thing, was pizza. So thinking of the memory of being 3-4 years old, living in our first house on Pineview Lane in Clinton, we used to take loaves of bread, and you take you a slice, you put some ketchup on there, you put some American cheese or whatever, and you take you some hot dog slices, and you put it on, and you put it in the oven.
Yeah.
That's
pizza.
That was your pizza.
And that's pizza. And people don't understand that's pizza.
That's pizza.
Yeah.
And really, there's actually an Italian pizza. My sister telling me that she used to eat when she was in Italy. That's an actual pizza that has hot dogs and French fries on it. You know what I'm saying? So just thinking back to that memory and knowing that I wanted to get in cooking, I started building the concept. I started coming up with it. And originally, it was called Cedar Oak.
Cedar Oak.
Cedar Oak Pizza Bar. And, you know, the Cedar Oak it's a place in Brandywine called Cedarville. My family's from Brandywine, Aquasco, down that area. So I was like, Cedar, okay, cool. Oak is the state tree of Maryland. So I was like, I can tell people that's, you know, where I'm from. But then going along, I was like, man, what am I going to do with the pizzas? What are the pizzas going to be named? What are their toppings? All these different things. I was like, man. So then I came up with plank owner. And a plank owner basically is a sailor who is in the process or has something to do with the process of commissioning a ship. So I actually was down there to commission the USS Montgomery and the USS Jackson down in Mobile, Alabama, 2 of the LCSs. So I got a plank owner certificate. I was like, I'm an actual plank owner, and I'm building a business from the ground up. So, and it's pizza. Like, let's just call it plank owner pizza. You know, so that's where all of that kind of really snowballed and formed from.
Yeah. So let me hit you with something, because I told you about crying, and that was impressive to me, right? I told you that. So full circle, another thing happened, you know, that you did, and I don't think I told you this, but it was impressive to me. And I think, like, I don't have any friends right now, like people I call my friends, that I'm not like impressed with at times. Like, I admire my friends, you know. So we were at Pizza Expo, and we'll get to that in a second. But we went to Pizza Expo last year, and we had a good time. But we were like, we was like the little guys at Pizza Expo. You know, we like don't even have a location. You know, we got a concept. We got pizzas. We selling pizzas. We still trying to figure it out. Right. I'm still dealing with whatever I'm dealing with here. So we still even trying to figure that part out. But we have a company. We got pizzas, right?
Yes, we do.
But we're the little guys, and I'm watching us go through like big boy restaurants, man. You know, so we went to Pizza Rock, right? And we doing a tour in Pizza Rock, right? And this is where it matters, man. This is where it all matters at. And we met, you know, we were on tour, so we met like people along the way. These people were 20, 30-year
Deep,
pizza
yeah.
store owners. Like, and while we going through Pizza Rock, they start asking us questions, like technical questions about pizza prep and stuff like that. And I was impressed, man. I was watching, like, any question they asked, like, you knew the answer. Like, some of the other people didn't. Like, these big boys, these big women in the business who we met and we respect, and, you know, we got a lot of love, and hopefully we'll reconnect with them at some point. But you knew all the answers, you know, little guy, man. And I was like, damn, yo, like, my boy really retained, like, all this shit. You know what I'm saying? So that was, like, probably the most recent. I was, like, really impressed. I'm like, damn, yo.
Passion, and I say passion, but you really just, you gotta want to be the best, yo.
Yeah.
Like, I really humbly believe, and I say humbly believe, but I really believe, like, when you get into something, you gotta want to be on top. You gotta want to be the best. You can't be scared to let your name ring. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that I'm always going champion. I'm always, you know what I'm saying, scream. Like, I'm trying to get to a point where Plank on the Pizza is a national name, a global name. You know what I'm saying? We trying to get to, you know what I'm saying, those type of levels. But in the midst of doing all of that, we definitely have good causes and stuff that we gonna feed. But yeah, no, I don't ever want to tell anybody to play small around me or in anything that they doing in their life. Like, you know what I'm saying? It starts with learning your shit. You know what I'm saying? You gotta study, you gotta learn your shit. But then at the end of the day, like, once you know your shit, talk your shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't be scared to stand up. And again, a lot of that came from, you know what I'm saying, being in the military. Because again, I'm young in the military. And I gotta stand up to people who've been in the military 20, 30 years. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I remember being an E5 on the Vela Golf, screaming on a lieutenant commander, you know what I'm saying, over some shit that really didn't have nothing to do with me. But, you know, I felt like dude was getting screwed and I didn't want to see it like that. Yeah. So, you know, I interjected into it. But yeah, no, you always gotta study, learn the greats. Like I said, going to school, when I was in the military, I got a bunch of NECs. So when I got out, I had the same mindset. Let me go to college. Yeah. And if I can go up to Beltsville, get a cert, or, you know what I'm saying, something that I can put into my business plan to show that I'm really serious, and then also, you know, meet a few people in the industry. It's like, why not? Yeah. And all of the greats are aware that they're great. It ain't too many greats that's not aware that they're great. Yeah. Right. And I say that for a reason. Right. Like I said, I always get weirded out with the Navy when people act like you can't know who you are. Everybody we admire, they are aware of who they are. Yeah. Yeah. Right. All right. So pizza. So we figured a concept. And what is that concept? We ain't really talk about the concept. Like, so we right now we leaning more towards a fast casual. So we'll have beer, wine. It's primarily going to be Detroit style and artisan pizza. So when I say artisan, that's your normal circular round pizza. It's just not on I guess a New York style or a large crust. So it's kind of a smaller style pizza, probably more closer to 10 to 12 inches. But we're going May topping, so we're gonna give you things like cream of crab. We got a Jamaican jerk chicken. We got a Cajun shrimp, and a lot of these play on the different regions of either being stationed or places we went overseas. So we're gonna have a what's the other one? It's my favorite. It's my shawarma. I'm about to say it's my favorite. I got you. I'm right here. I got you. Yeah, man. That chicken shawarma. Yeah, man, that chicken shawarma. So, yeah, we gonna bring a lot of flavors from, like I said, different travels, different areas that we went to. We're gonna do calzones. Like I said, the beer, we're going to focus mainly on craft beers. A lot of them from, you know, local areas is what we're going to try to pinpoint. Even some of the wines, when we start reaching out to them, you know, we're going to be pinpointing local wines and things like that. So, yeah, man, it's definitely going to be a dope concept that we're going to bring to the people. It's fun, man. Like, you know, just kind of like starting to go through this ride with you. It's fun. It's a lot of learning, a lot of stuff. Sometimes I'm overwhelmed, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, me too. But
the thing about the both of us is like we both like action guys though.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And like so just to be transparent to, to the listeners, since we both action guys, like we're at like a point where like we gotta like bog down to do some paperwork, right? So that's kind of like we want the action, you know what I'm saying? And even when we used to like create, I remember we used to create programs on the ship.
Yeah.
When it came to the paper, like we would shoot the idea a million, ways, but when it came to the paperwork, we had people that helped us out. Yes. We had friends that came and did the paperwork.
And find people who can do what you can't. All right, I find people who can do what you can't,
and who wants to do, who's willing to do what you can. What you can.
That's why they say a team is so important.
Yeah,
that's why they say a team is so important. Because you definitely gotta have people like as far as vision, recipes, and creating all of that. I got it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But when it comes to writing recipes down and putting them in, ways they're supposed to look and all. I'm just telling you, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. Like, I just don't want to do it. I would rather, I really just need an app that I can talk into that's going to put this shit down. Or somebody who I can just be like, yo, just come with me and just, you know what I'm saying? But you got to find somebody that's always going to be able to do the things that you can't do and do the things that you don't want to do.
Yeah, and I think I perk up whenever it's time to create something. When it's time to be creative or something, I'm like, yo, let's go.
And talking about action and just sticking with the military and the transition and everything, like that's another thing. When you're in the military, money is not an issue.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And believe it or not, being in the military for 10, 13 years, and anytime you needed something as far as your job, you put in an order and, you know what I'm saying, boom, it's done. So you used to things happening quicker.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing, at least for me right now. It's like, man, I'm not used to things moving this slow, but I don't have the finances or, backing or whatever to move as fast as I was moving then. So I got to take and understand that every little step is a big step. It's just taking time. You know
and even like with the ovens and stuff, like $40,000, $50,000, $30,000 ovens. So all this in the Navy, you could order a $30,000 oven
and it's there.
Yeah, it's like you ain't really had nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? And then I was watching Inventing Amy on Netflix, and somebody was saying like, hey, rich people don't spend their own money. So we not trying to really spend our own money either. You know what I'm saying? We not really trying to spend our own money, but that ownership, creating something like that's going to last a long time, that's kind of what we building up the recipe for right now, is just to create something that's going to last a long time. And what I learned myself, if it's reassuring that in any way, what I learned myself is that it really don't matter like how long it takes us to build something, as long as we making it with the right foundation.
Yeah. Yes.
And I think we are.
And some of those foundations, man, reach out to your state, local, county, you know what I'm saying, affiliates, governments, Chamber of Commerce, Prince George's County Economic Development Center, SBDC. Like, reach out to those different places that's out there in your different states and wherever you at. And if you got that idea that you want to, move forward on, they have local pitch, competitions, a lot of community colleges in the area. And I'm sure if you look in your area, you'll probably be able to find them. So, yeah, man, it's the truth is, as long as you never stop, you're going to get to where you want to go. You got, as long as you keep going, you're going to get to where you want to go.
Hey, so any of these like restaurant concepts or anything inspire you? So, I'll lead the Dave's Hot Chicken. Their story, man, it inspired. And now we seeing a lot of different hot chicken restaurants pop up, right? And it's a lot of people who got hot chicken, even like people that I like. They got good hot chicken, but I haven't had Dave's Hot Chicken since we left Vegas, and that was at the Pizza Expo, right? But we had a Dave's Hot Chicken, incredible. I think Drake, I feel like Drake kind of invested and I've been seeing them moving around a lot. But Dave's Hot Chicken, man, at the timing and everything, we were at the Pizza Expo building our own thing, and then we just randomly go like, hey, let's go try this hot chicken, and it was the shit was incredible, man.
Right.
Like I'm still chasing the high from Dave's Hot Chicken, bro. Like if
it was good.
If we could go to Vegas like right now, like
Pizza Expo next month.
Yeah, might be getting some tickets just to go Dave's Hot Chicken. You know what I mean? But anybody like that inspire any other restaurant concepts inspire you?
Yeah, right now I can say I'm most inspired by two restaurants right now. Slim and Husky, which is another pizza.
Slim and Husky is in Indianapolis?
It's that's the Missing Brick. Slim and Husky is in I want to say they started in Kentucky, Tennessee, Memphis, somewhere down south in that
They in
area.
a stadium now too, though. Huh?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so Kitchen Cray is another one, a local
Kitchen Cray
restaurant. But yeah, I look at a lot of these
shout out the down north Philly boys, pizza boys.
Yeah, them too. And I remember we seen them. We didn't get a chance to talk to them.
Yeah,
we
just saw them.
But yeah, man, it's a lot of young black entrepreneurs who don't or haven't really looked at the restaurant as a industry that they can, you know what I'm saying, walk into or, you know what I'm saying, tap into. And it's you starting to see a lot of people that's changing, you know what I'm saying, that for us. And so it's a lot of, I can't pinpoint an exact one, but I definitely know like Slim and Husky, just seeing their growth, what they've been doing. Triple J's pizza, because they kind of got the same concept, not as far as, you know, the military thing, but they do Detroit styles, and I think they do, you know what I'm saying, your artists.
What's the other dude that do the Detroit? He got the Chick-fil-A pizza.
Man, Cliff
Cliff
Pizza.
Cliff
Yeah,
Pizza.
Cliff Pizza. I want to say I think he right outside of Detroit somewhere.
Yeah,
up that area. But yeah, man. So I follow a lot of people.
Missing
You
Brick,
get a lot of inspiration from seeing people that look like you doing something that you trying to do. It lets you know that it's possible and that you can do it. So you know what I'm saying. And then I've been thinking about, you know, DMing, reaching out to him as a resource, you know what I'm saying, especially with this paperwork stuff that we was talking about, like, yo, help me out with this. So but also,
and they probably will.
I want to give a shout out to Alma's catering experience. She's definitely been a big help as far as mentorship, motivation, always there with insight. You know what I'm saying? She's in the process of getting a commercial kitchen or something together, and she's always offered, you know, if we need a space to cook out of or, you know, whatever. So I'm gonna be big shout out.
So the food industry is welcoming, right? The pizza. Let's just go with the pizza
industry. Is.
Pizza industry, man. It's fun, man. I've done a million things. You know, people that listen to this podcast, the Farum, they know how much I love music. They know I've done music. And I've done other things, but like the pizza industry, man, is so welcoming and cool. Like you could really probably literally hit up the highest person on the totem pole.
Tony Gimignani.
Tony G, right?
Got a picture of him with him.
Yeah.
You know, he was like, when you got business cards, reach out.
Yeah, he asked for the card. We ain't have
that. Yeah, we ain't have them at the time. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing, guys. If you going out there and you trying to do business, make sure you got your contacts and your cards and everything, you know what I'm saying, lined up and set up with you. You know what I'm saying?
So Tony Gimignani asked for the card. We didn't have it. We got cards now. We got business cards now. But he treated us like we been running
during 15, 20, like we already had a storefront,
yeah.
Or you know what I'm saying, like it was real genuine. And I can say that, and I can rattle off a couple names. Scott,
that's Pizza Tours, right?
Scott's Pizza Tours, yeah. My guy, man, I'm mad his name is escaping me right now, but yeah, you definitely feel and see that they want people to come into it, that they want people to succeed in it. But and again, you know, it's an industry. So, and understanding that it's an industry, everybody wants growth. As long as the whole industry is moving, you know what I'm saying, upwards and forward, then everybody's eating, everybody making money. So yeah, I definitely feel and see that this is a welcoming industry. We might get to a point when we grow to a certain level that it might get cutthroat, but right now, you know what I'm saying, everybody's very, very cool.
And that's different than music, man. Music, for instance, you could be struggling artist. I've always been a struggling artist, right? Mm-hmm. That's my, you know, my motif as a musician, right? But you could be a struggling artist reaching out to another struggling artist for like anything. Mm-hmm. and the other struggling artists might want $1,000 from you.
Yeah.
Like, yo, we both struggling. Like, you're not in a position that you gonna give me leverage. I'm hitting you up out of respect. Like, like out of the fact that I like your talent. You know, maybe if we do something together, it might, you know, work better. I remember dudes used to sell beats, man, for like $500.
Yeah.
And it's like, we both struggling artists, so who knows what, you know, what happens where, but dudes will sell beats for like $500. And they still selling beats for $500, right? But those same dudes could be like, yeah, but you still didn't become famous,
Right?
Either. So it's like, you know. But what if he would have sold? We would have just both worked together and both elevated, you know, each other or whatever. So you just never know, man. So and that's what I like about the pizza industry, because it's like they always looking for somebody else with a new concept, with new idea, new restaurant, and they embrace us. And this crazy thing, man, being black dudes, it ain't feel weird, man. It felt like we were being like, nobody has to like, I mean, I'm bald, but nobody has to like touch our hair, like to see like that, how our hair felt.
There was really,
and that's a metaphor. That's a metaphor.
Yeah. But even still, there wasn't really, you know, you don't have that kind of look where it's like, are these dudes serious? Or
the
like,
imposter, like,
you know what I'm saying? Like what they really
stuff
doing here? And I'm not gonna say I feel, you know, a supplier or a vendor get more attention than somebody who they might have known or who may have been in, you know, the game a little bit longer. But other than that, you know, it's real genuine. You know,
well, the vendors a little different because
they try to make a sale.
Yeah, they try to make a sale. But when we sitting with, you know, restaurant owners, hanging out with them, talking to them, man, we got like we chopping a lot of good conversation, man.
Yep, a lot of good conversation, a lot of good contacts. We shared a lot of social media contacts, and that's the other thing. I mean, we met people from Alaska, I believe.
Yeah,
while we was there, some people
they had a restaurant for like 30 years
in Alaska. So yeah, I'll definitely, man, trade shows, and this is for anything, whether it's clothing, whether it's food, you know, auto, whatever it is. Like tap into your trade shows, man. Makeup,
and connect with people, because you know we might go to Alaska one day and reach out like, hey, this is us. Yeah. Remember,
we met y'all back, networking,
and you learn a lot from people, because it was a couple. We had a really good conversation with an owner of a pizzeria, Italian restaurant. She talked to us a lot, but she taught us. I think we learned some stuff, you know, from her, man. But all right, so let's go back. So a lot of the concept is going to be flavors based off of places that we've been, right?
Yes.
Okay. Like, so if like maybe somewhere in Greece, maybe somewhere from Turkey, you know, so flavors based off of places that we've been. And then any surprises, anything else that you plan on doing that we really haven't talked about yet? Well, we haven't talked about like community outreach or things that got to do with vets.
So we're gonna be donating $1 from every pizza, and we're gonna be donating a percentage from every pizza to veterans and to communities, and to the community to deal with the stigma of mental health. You know what I'm saying? Primarily in adolescents. You know, we're gonna have programs and stuff or donate to programs for adults as well, but primarily in adolescents, feeling as though if we kind of reach them at that age, it'd be a better, you know, outcome or better life if we can touch them or reach them and provide them the help and stuff that they need at that age. As far as veterans, it's going to be the same thing, you know, dealing with mental health. Hopefully grow to a point where we can assist in food, shelter, you know, all those different things. So we definitely going to have some good things coming.
So where are we right now? Like, where is Plank? It's funny because I know all these answers. Like we partners in this thing, but where are we right now?
So right now, like you said, the last major hurdle is finishing our business plan and getting the financing that we need. Definitely from people who have tried the pizza, have offered investing and, you know, money and things like that. Of course, we had to again sit down with a lawyer and, you know, get all of those things hashed out as far as if we was to take on equity versus debt. We're looking at doing debt financing, which is trying to go after bank loans and everything first, versus equity financing.
Yeah, man. If Amy Sorkin could do it, man, as I told you, I've been watching that event at Amy. If Amy Sorkin can get $40 billion, we should be able to get a little million that we want, or however much.
That's it.
So,
you know.
but my question to you, right? It's like this, because people hit me up all the time, right? I might repost a picture from Plank Owner, I repost a picture from West Pink 86, right? You know, that's your Instagram. But like people be like, hey, when I come over there, I'm getting some pizza, right? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, it might not work like that. But if somebody does want pizza, like, how would they go about it?
Man, so right now, since the new year started, we are posting on Tuesdays. The menu goes up. Preferably get your order in Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't have your post notifications on, turn on your post notifications. All right. But DM us at Plank Owner Pizza. And let us know what pizza you want to order, which day you want to order. Deliveries are going through Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays right now. So yeah, that's gonna be the best way to get your orders in. And the best way to get them in is turn your post notifications on. And every Tuesday is just check your page 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and see. I've been throwing it up there about 7:30, a little earlier now, 8 o'clock, but 9, 10 o'clock, you should be checking Plank Owner Pizza to see on Tuesdays if they posted the menu, if anything new is on the menu, and when they delivering.
And that's on Instagram.
That's on Instagram. You can check us on Facebook. I'm actually on Facebook. We got, you know, I Plank on the Facebook page now, so I'm doing a little bit better with getting with that. We do have an email set up. I have to go and check it, but that's more for if you want to do weddings, if you want to do birthday party, if you want to do some type of event, catering event. We haven't really jumped into that realm yet, but you know, depending on what you possibly asking, just shoot your inquiries over there. We'll tell you whether or not we can or cannot accommodate.
Yeah, and it's the best pizza in the DMV. Like I feel like that. DC, Maryland, Virginia, PG County. Yeah, I feel like this is the best pizza in the DMV, man. This is the best. The first time I ate Plank on a pizza, I was coming home. You know, we had already kind of worked out a lot of ideas and thoughts and stuff, and you had already started selling the pizza. You know, and I'm like, yeah, hey Wes, man, I want to be a part of this. Let's do this together. And I came home and you had some pizza and I ate it, and it was the best pizza I ever ate in my life. This was the best, and I'm not saying this because it's our company and not like that. I'm saying this because it's true. Like, this was the best pizza. Like, this was fresh out the oven, first off, right? But I've eaten Plank on a pizza cold or whatever, but this was fresh out the oven. This was the best pizza I ever had, and I always try to like kind of like chase that. Like, and I ain't get it yet. You know, I remember when I went and make pizzas with you when I first got home, and I had like more time, you know, on the weekends, I would go make pizzas, and all the cheeses that you use for the pizzas, you know, I don't know, I ain't ever tell you this. Soon as I got home, I went to the market.
You tried to make one.
And bought, not even to make pizza. I did try to make a pizza though. It didn't come out the greatest. But I went to the market and I bought all the cheeses. Every one. And I made I made everything with the cheese. I made grilled cheese sandwiches. It was incredible with all those cheeses. Right? So it's like,
you giving away too much right now.
Well, I ain't say nothing. I ain't say the names of the cheeses or nothing.
But we got a couple
of them. But it's the cheeses that like y'all ain't, it's a secret when it comes to those
noodles in them drinks. For that mac and cheese. You know what I'm saying? Them joints gonna be just as good. So the cheese is a little secret, but we ain't gonna tell y'all everything that's in that joint.
And when it come to that dough, right? So I like to close these out just asking people like, who are they? Right? Like, so it's like, you know, I'm Damo McCullough, and I am a creative, you know? Because I could say I'm a million things. I could say I'm a senior chief. I could say I'm a podcaster. I could say I make music. I could say whatever. I think the biggest thing I could say right now is I'm a creative. I like to make things. I like to make things for people to consume and stuff like that. So I'm gonna ask you, who are you?
Man, so I'm gonna actually give a little long joint. So I'm gonna actually say my whole name, and this is probably gonna be the only time y'all ever hear it. So I'm Wesley Ford Belfield Pinkney. So that's my whole name. Who am I? I'm a father first. First and foremost, I'm a father. And in that, I think it leads to everything else, which, like you, I can say it creative. But it's really about being a father and trying to show my kids right now that they can create as well, that they can build something of their own as well. So I think in everything that I am, I would say I'm a father first. And out of being a father, it leads me into being the other things, or it helps me be better at the other things that I am.
Yeah. Hey, man, thanks for coming out to the family, man.
No doubt. Appreciate it. We'll be back. This is part 1.
Yeah, we gonna get into some ignorant shit
Oh,
in the next
man.
couple times.
Y'all stay tuned.
Yeah, we gonna get into
say
some. We got some
shit,
ignorant.
boy.
We got some ignorant stuff to talk about. But this was good though, man. I appreciate this.
Oh yeah.
Everybody go to @PlankOnAPizza on Instagram. Check us out on Facebook. info@plankonapizza.com is our email if you got a wedding party or something like that. Wes is private, so I said his Instagram earlier. If you caught it, you got it. If you ain't catch it,
I
then
posted it in the story this time, so y'all seen it.
Yeah, if you ain't catch it, then it is what it is. But hey, man, bottom of my heart, man, I love you, bro, and I thank you for thank you for coming and sitting with me. This was one that I couldn't wait to do, and we'll do more. So appreciate this. Hey, all the listeners, we love you guys. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for checking us out. Thanks for checking me out. See you guys next month.
Next month, y'all stay tuned for part 2.